Hello everybody. And instead of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline, since it's Thanksgiving, I figure it's a holiday, I'm going to upload what I want. And here we are, we're going to be playing some World of Warcraft on my Demon Hunter. We're going to be going into the Tomb of Sargeras on LFR, the first wing. I think it's called the Gates of Hell. And it's going to be a fun time. At least I always find raiding a fun time, even if it is easy mode. I don't care if it's easy mode, I still like the active raiding, so yeah. And because I'm antisocial and don't actually want to go out and look for a guild. But we'll just ignore that part. No, just ignore that. Anyway. I am familiar with the boss fights, and I'm going to assume if you're watching my channel, maybe you don't watch World of Warcraft. My channel is not what you'd call a WoW channel, so I'm just gonna... If you're looking for, you know, in-depth strategy guide, yeah, not really. I'll give you the basic overview of the fights as far as I understand it, but that's gonna be about it. I'm No Befuddled Gaming. That's a great channel, by the way, if you need boss fight videos. He's great at explaining it in a timely manner. This is not that. This is quite literally just me talking over gameplay of Tomb of Sargeras, and talking about the Demon class, or Demon Hunter class, which I adore. Can't stand the tanking class, but I really like their DPS spec. Most people, it's kind of the opposite. Most people love the tanking, don't like the DPS. Yeah. Nothing wrong with either one of them. Oh, excuse me, nothing wrong with either one of them if you like being a tank or a DPS. So, I'm not going to be talking about the trash kills, because it's trash kills. If you don't know how to kill trash, and... One thing that it does annoy me in LFR, and I'll just say it, is the pervading mentality of, it's just LFR, we don't have to try. As you might have noticed, about 10 people kind of got hit by that AoE. Pointless damage. It gives the healer something to do, which I've been a healer in LFR. Great, I guess, but I don't like having things to do in LFR on a healer. I prefer to just run up and Crusader Strike, throw some holy shocks at the enemy instead of having to waste those Crusader shocks on your ass because you didn't want to get out of the AoE. Not talking to you, the viewer, but you know, you as in the randoms that you get joined with. But that's just me. I prefer to be a proactive healer. But yeah, there's just no fixing laziness in anything. I don't care if you're playing an MMO, or if you're playing a friggin', you know, Halo. I don't care what you do. Laziness is going to be there. So the first boss is Goroth. Goroth has a few mechanics that can be dangerous. In LFR, not so much. I mean, I guess you could still die if you really tried, but I've witnessed people wipe in LFR, but that was mainly because was like 5 people and the rest of the raid was outside the thing, and I was outside the thing, and that normally doesn't happen. So let's get into it. Goroth has a few mechanics, like I said. The first one is he makes spikes come out of the ground, infernal spikes. If you see a little thing under you, you want to move. This big green arrow is another. When that expires, well, he throws I don't want to call it a bowling ball, but he basically does the equivalent of such. And the way you want to minimize that damage is you want to get behind the infernal spikes, 1 at least, preferably 2. I don't think you want to waste 3 of them. 1 or 2 should minus it. If you don't do anything, that damage hits the whole raid. So you really want to kind of minimize that however you can. But this has all been said numerous times, so I'm not going to go too far into the strategy of it. This is a big one, though. This, I think, will kill you in LFR if you're not like a tank or a really high health class. You'd want to get behind these so that you don't just kind of die. So, yeah. To be fair, though, the second boss is more likely to kill you if you actually try and do the mechanics. If someone doesn't know what they're doing. I have personal experience on my warrior, but since we're on Goroth right now, I think that's about all he does, really. I mean, I don't know what he does to the tank. He might put a debuff on the tank. I haven't tanked this, because I don't like tanking with randoms. I'll tank for guildies or friends, but not random people. But yeah, Demon Hunters and Havoc, which is the DPS mode. We like critting. We like critting a lot, because every time we crit on our main damage spell, we get, I think, half of our fury we spent on it. So, yeah, crit gives you some energy back. Crit gives you more energy back. You can see how this is really, really nice. I think Demon Hunters got nerfed a few months back, where their passive kind of just is like a 60% chance of giving you extra fury. Now it used to be 100%, so that was really nice back then. But nowadays, you can get fury starved if you're not careful. and I'm not really ever careful. When I play my Demon Hunter, it's just go, 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 go. I gotta do all the damage I can right now. You know, it's not a good habit. You can Fury Starve yourself and end up being very counterproductive. But I think that goes for most any class. So you don't really want to just... I just have trouble holding back. You know, if I'm doing DPS, I want to do all the DPS I can. I've never understood people say, I don't like DPS whores. Okay, I can understand that. You don't want people who just ignore mechanics. That's great. But what about the people who just try and do all the DPS they can and still do mechanics? I don't see what the problem with DPS whores, unless you're going to classify DPS whores as someone who just stands in bad just to do DPS. I guess I'm not a DPS whore then, but I guess I'm just fanatic about if I'm going to be a DPS, I'm going to do as much as I can without dying. But I think as most DPS, I'm not unique in that. I'm also not one to just kind of rush in a raid, 25-man raid, and just kind of say, yeah, we can two-man this, but yeah, you know what, I felt frisky because everybody else was coming up, so yeah. I will say one thing about Demon Hunter, we have phenomenal AoE burst, but it's burst. You can't do it sustained. You know, we're not enhancement shamans, we're not frost death knights, but we can do a lot of it in a short period of time. We're just, you know, kind of cooldown reliant in that regard, at least in what little I know. I'm an aspiring Demon Hunter. I've only been playing one for like a couple months. Hell, I just started playing WoW again a couple months ago and I got 3 people at 110 already. I'm not addicted, you're addicted. I don't really care about the storyline. Nobody really cares about the storyline in World of Warcraft, unless you've been playing it for years. I guess I shouldn't say nobody. How the hell are they attacking me? Oh, right, because I just kind of went balls out right in the beginning. Not really the best thing to do. Now, this boss has a capacity to kill you a lot more if the tank doesn't know what they're doing. I can tell you from personal experience, I died like 20 seconds into it. Because Harjatan, you have to tank facing the raid. All tanks have to fight that instinct. You don't want to tank him facing away. You want to tank him facing toward the raid. Unless you are very good with timing and you have no latency. Because when he casts Unchecked Rage, it splits the damage with everybody in front of him, and if the tank's the only one in front of him, bye-bye tank. More than likely, if you're on normal or above. On LFR, you can survive it. I don't know if they popped defensives or not, but yeah, I learned the hard way in LFR. If the tank is doing what they're doing and they don't pop a defensive, and I try and split the damage, I can die very easily. I was on an Arms Warrior, because it was just me and the tank, and then the tank managed to barely live, but I died, and I kind of look like a dumbass. But, you know what, that was my fault. I should have just let them die, and then the whole raid would have wiped. That's what we should have done, but we didn't do that. It's LFR anyway. You're gonna get it the second pull as long as people don't do things really stupid. The other mechanic in this is the puddles. Every once in a while, you'll get a little circle around you. What you should be doing is going to the edges of the room, preferably behind the boss, so that when he draws the waters in, that doesn't happen. One, that was a bad way of going about it. That was my fault. Because every time you get a stack of, you know, drenching waters or frigid blows or whatever, you take more water damage. So it kind of adds up really quickly if you just let it, you know, the debuffs go up. I think that's about all the mechanics for Harjatan and LFR. I don't know the other modes. I haven't done the other ones because I don't have a guild and I refuse to, you know, pick up group that crap. I learned my lesson in Molten Core, thank you very much, back in the day. And God help me, and God help you if you remember pickup groups for Blackwing Lair. They never worked. And I mean never. Well, except for that one. But, you know, that was kind of the exception, not the rule, in my opinion. But we're getting off topic here. Man, do I love melee DPS. I know you probably already picked that up. I know, Varrock, you got the Warrior. You got, actually, I kind of hate Rep Paladins, but I got a Holy Paladin. You got the Warrior and you got the Demon Hunter. I wouldn't have imagined you like melee DPS. What the hell, man? Oh, excuse me, sorry, I had to cough there. Yeah, the other thing is you really want to kind of focus the ads down, which I guess I kind of just overlooked because that's just secondhand to me. If I see ads in a raid, I automatically go, oh, gotta go after them. Because you don't want them just running around. But a lot of people, they don't really do that in LFR. I'm sure in their guild raids they do, but in LFR they just kind of go, it's just LFR. I hate that. I know it's just LFR, but let's actually try harder so we can get through this faster. It's my point. Why just sit there and make it take longer, right? I don't know, people these days, man, I don't get them sometimes. So we're on our way to the final boss, which I believe is Mistress Sazine. I probably mispronounced that, but it's basically a Naga, and it's a really fun fight. It's chaotic as hell, and it's really fun. In LFR, you can die. There are some one-shot mechanics in this fight. I really like that. I don't like, a lot of them. Like, what's that one boss fight that has tons of one-shot mechanics? Gwarm? No, that's in Trial of Valor. Well, either way, I'll be getting into that later. The trash pulls are really, really annoying. I hate these two trash pulls coming up. I can't stand them. And you'll soon find out why. Unless you're a paladin and actually, give a damn about other people, it kind of sucks. Because you'll get slowed, you'll get bleeding. I'm bleeding right now on this. I got 3 stacks of it. And this time, I kind of made a boo-boo there. You're supposed to drop that somewhere else. I kind of dashed back into the group. Whoops. We all make mistakes, Just no one really called me out on it. It was fine. If no one calls you out on it, no one noticed, okay? That's the way it works.
I can't attack that target.
Besides, it's LFR. A lot of people are just going, as long as you don't wipe the group, we're cool. Or as long as you don't pull with half the group out of the boss, we're good. It's like there's very few, social norms in LFR that you really have to adhere to. Don't be a dick is generally one, which means actually not be AFK and try not to get hit, generally speaking, if you want the healers to actually like you. Which a lot of people don't care, but I'd like the healers to like me. I don't know, I guess I'm old school like that. But speaking of old school, I can't wait for WoW Classic. For people who don't know WoW Classic, they announced at BlizzCon, I think it was about, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. It's been a while. I don't keep up to date with BlizzCon, but if it's what I think it is, it's going to be great. I know a lot of people are going, oh, Miss Nostalgia, Barok, Nostalgia. No, I know what the hell nostalgia is. I can't wait for Classic. Because let's face it, WoW nowadays is, I don't want to say watered down, but it's not as difficult or challenging as it was, and I value that. But I still like it the way it is. I just wish it was, a little better like it was. But that's a controversial one. Some people are looking forward to it, some people think it will never measure up. But this boss fight, because we're not there yet. Mistress Sazine has a lot of mechanics to deal with. The slicing tornadoes in normal and LFR difficulty, you can just avoid. Otherwise, you gotta time killing some of the ads that drop the puddles so that the hurricanes kind of just disappear. But in LFR, all you gotta do is just not stand in it.
Beware.
Easy enough, right? And don't stand in big circles on the ground until the second phase, and only the purple ones if that one mechanic is up, which we'll be getting into later. Basically, don't stand in anything unless you're going to try and do one specific mechanic. So, yeah. And the other mechanics, I think she throws on a really bad debuff on the tank, so you guys have to tank swap. Otherwise, everybody in the raid starts getting hit with the burden of pain.
Beware.
And, for the first phase, that's about it. Just don't get hit by the tornadoes, do as much damage as you can, and take the ads down when you can by cleaving them down, what have you. I made a bit of a boo-boo there, but, I'm a demon hunter, so I kind of just got get a get-out-of-jail-free card with Fell Rush. But I got hit by the tornado. Not good. I kind of look like a dummy. But, hey, as long as I just say everybody makes mistakes, it's all forgiven, right? No, I don't think that's the way that goes. But yeah, this is when the second phase kicks off, and things get a hell of a lot more hectic. Now, in this phase, you'll notice, at times, okay, you see befouling ink, that purple stuff over there? That's a mechanic for later. You don't want to pick that up right now, but you will want to pick it up later. Which, when Devouring Maw comes out, 3 people pick that up, they go stand in the first ring of the purple circle, and then that mechanic's done. If you go deeper into it, you kind of instantly die, because you get eaten by a giant fish. This is the other one. Big middle of the room, don't sit in the big middle of the room, because the big fishy will just kind of kill you. Don't do that. I don't know if LFR will kill you. I haven't been dumb enough to get hit by it yet, but I would assume that really hurts, but I don't know that. And that's basically the mechanics. The Devouring Maw, you can see the 2 little mini circles there. You want to grab the purple, stand in the first one, don't stand in the second one, or you automatically die. But yeah, you want to grab the purple ones if you're like a ranged or a healer. That's what I usually do if I'm on my paladin. I'm usually on purple duty. Or befouling ink duty, or whatever it's called. And the third phase is just everything jammed into one phase. So yeah, try not to die. Beyond that, this fight's pretty much over. So hey, I love playing my Demon Hunter, man. I love it. I do want to try and go into further Tombs of Sargeras, but the further you go, the more mechanics I'd imagine are probably there in LFR. It's like trying to herd cats, trying to get people to do specific things, so I'm not really looking forward to that. And as a melee DPS, I don't really want to do the mechanics. I'll do it, but you know, I don't want to, but whatever. And that's just about it for the Gates of Hell and Tomb of Sargeras, excuse me. And as a bonus, hey, at least I got some loot instead of just artifact power, right? That's something. Hey, 2 pieces of loot. Sweet, too bad I'm not really going to use it because it's not as good. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hopefully you have a nice one. I just want to make a special video because, well, for you normal people, this is going to be, it's tomorrow. For me, it's today because I get up in the middle of the night and it's 2 a.m. right now, but, you know, for me, it's today. But hopefully you have a fun Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you, until next time.